Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm talking about something that just kind of popped up in the news. I actually just heard it on the radio on my way home from work in the snowstorm, and I thought it was kind of an interesting topic, and I think it's something that's kind of come up before in recent conversations and stuff like that. And that is the whole idea of video gaming becoming an obsession or a mental illness. And now this is what the news was talking about. Anyways, I didn't get a lot of what he meant on, like, what he was talking about on the radio, because he just kind of brought it up and he read a little bit more. And I just seen an article now on the line where one of the news channels stations put up an article about it, and I read it, and I was kind of it piqued my curiosity as to, like, is this really going to be a thing? Is it already a thing? Has it always been a thing? And I went back in my mind to when I used to play games, and I mean, if you think about it, the way games are today, they're almost designed to do that to people. They're almost designed to pull you in and keep you playing. Whereas the games that I remember when I was a kid, you couldn't play them for very long. I mean, you'd play a ton of different games, and then you'd kind of get bored and put the Atari away or put the Intellivision away and go and do something else. I mean, you didn't sit there day and night playing Intellivision or Atari or even Nintendo. I mean, yeah, certain games could have you sitting in front of the TV for a long time, like The Legend of Zelda, or when I first got Super Mario Bros. 3, I remember renting it and just sitting there non-stop playing it. But I mean, I had a reason for that, because I rented it, so I had to give it back. And so I wanted to try and get as far as I could before I had to give the game back. Once I owned Super Mario Bros. 3, I didn't sit in front of the TV for, that amount of time constantly playing. But I understand that, times have changed, and games now are mostly online. There's a lot of online gaming, a lot of online YouTube channels where people are gaming online. So I understand that this is the modern gaming of today. And it's designed to keep you there. It's designed to give you, like, almost make the game a priority. You have to, like, dedicate your time, because not only is it just for you, but it's also for the other players. Like, you're probably playing in a campaign, so you got other people that were dedicating their time. So you can't just be like, well, sorry guys, I just don't feel like playing today, because you're going to probably let down your team, your group, or whatever. Plus you're paying money for a subscription for this thing, and it's just the way it is. But anyways, if you don't know what this is, what I'm talking about, so it's a draft to the to WHO, which is the what is it? World Health Organization. I knew it was in my mind somewhere. 2018 classification of diseases, gaming disorder. I mean, I remember a few years ago hearing about the sex addiction, where they were calling that a disorder, because these guys were addicted to that and cheating on their wives, and it became a disorder. And some of the celebrities, like David Duchovny from the X-Files, had to go to some kind of rehab. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, they could turn anything into a disease. Well, it seems like they are. They're turning video games into a disease. Now, I'm not dismissing this as it's not happening, because I'm sure there are some people, or you might even know somebody who has this kind of disorder that they're calling it. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go over it. So a gaming disorder is characterized by a pattern of persistent or recurring gaming behavior, digital gaming or video gaming, I guess there's a difference, which may be online, i.e. over the internet, or offline, manifested by, so then they give, like, points. So point 1, impaired control over gaming, onset, frequency, intensity, duration, termination, context. Okay, I don't know what half of that means, but so it just means that you're always playing video games. That's your life. I'm a video gamer, and I'm just living in front of my console. It kind of brings to mind, I think it was the South Park episode, where with a fat guy sitting in his basement, and he had pimples all over his face, and he's playing. And I think Eric Cartman, one of the characters, was also in that mode of, just all day long eating junk food, playing video games. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's what that means. 2, increasing priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities. To me, that sounds ridiculous. Why would people do that? But I think people do it, and it's kind of sad, actually, that you would put any kind of priorities over, family, if you're married, if you have a wife, or whatever. I mean, responsibilities, you have a job, you got to make money. And it's not just video games. I mean, it could be anything. I used to play a lot of card games. I used to play Magic the Gathering a lot. Stuff like that. I used to play these games, and I would dedicate time to it. I would say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to play from 12 to 1 or 12 to 4, or I'm going to go to a tournament on the weekend. And those were my dedicated times. And then whenever I had some spare time, I would come in and start messing with the cards, making decks. But I couldn't turn it into my entire life because, I mean, there's more to life than just playing games. I mean, come on. And then 3, continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. So here's where that kind of fits into, now you're losing your family, maybe, especially if you're married. I'm married. I wouldn't have the time to just, I'd have to ignore my family if I wanted to just spend hours and hours and hours on the computer gaming. Now, I mean, it is tough. I mean, just making videos for YouTube takes up a lot of time. And I know sometimes it's, it can become a problem where I'm like constantly upstairs on the computer editing and doing this type of stuff. And I can't imagine if I was just simply playing games all the time and that was all I was doing, like come home from work, run up to the computer, don't even see my wife until we go to bed because I'm on the computer gaming. I mean, that would definitely put a real strain on the relationship, and I don't know how people get into that. I mean, if you're single, maybe if that's your life and you have a job solely to support your gaming, and I would say at that point maybe it is an addiction. So the behavior pattern is sufficient severity to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. I mean, if you're playing that much video games, like your life is literally a video game. I don't know. I guess, like I was saying earlier, you kind of get into these campaigns. Maybe, maybe there's a social thing to it in your mind because you're probably interacting with other people online. So, I mean, maybe it's kind of relating to like social media, when people spend all their life on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and whatever, Instagram, and they don't plug into the real world. So I guess that could be kind of the idea there. The pattern of gaming behavior may be continuous or episodic, and recurrent. The gaming behavior and other features are normally evident over a period of at least 12 months in order for a diagnosis to be assigned, although the required duration may be shortened if all diagnostic requirements are met and symptoms are severe. So it looks like they're really looking into how they're going to diagnose this. My question is, I mean, who's going to go to the doctor and say, Doc, I think I have a gaming addiction? Is this going to be something that the wife or like almost like an intervention? Are people going to like bring in a doctor and be like, sit down, we got something to tell you? And, kind of like the people who have like an alcohol problem or a drug problem. Are you going to get an intervention one day where like, you're spending too much time on your Xbox and you're going to have to like come back to reality? I don't know. Or perhaps it's going to get to the point where maybe your life is actually falling apart and somebody says, go to the doctor, and then doctor's going to say, hey, maybe it's time to turn off that Nintendo, eh? I don't know. It's just weird. And that's why I was kind of like thinking about it. And I know there's a lot of people, they spend a lot of their time playing games. And then sometimes they actually do have support from their wives and their family or whatever. They know that that's their passion and they let them do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people have hobbies. You have to have a life. I mean, you can't just go to work, come home, fall asleep, get back up, and go back to work. I mean, what is that? You got to have some kind of hobby. So, I mean, I just hope this doesn't turn into something where, like, all of a sudden now, 2018 is the year where everybody has a gaming disorder. I mean, they got to really be careful about this. And, I mean, I'm sure there are some people with the problem, what I've just explained there, and perhaps they do need help. So The other question is, how are they going to treat this? I mean, short of like unplugging the system, how do you treat this? Because like with alcohol, for instance, if you're an alcoholic, they usually send you to some kind of ranch or some kind of like center where you don't touch the stuff anymore. You have focus groups and all that. Are they going to create focus groups for video games? And what's that going to be like? You know, oh, I used to play 12 hours of Super Mario World every day. And someone will be, oh yeah, well, I got hooked on playing The Legend of Zelda. I mean, what's the focus going to be? Is it just going to be giving them other things to do? Like, here's a job. You know, here, go and do something over here. Or, I don't know, go for a long walk. It'll be interesting to find out. And, yeah, so kind of, I want to follow this. And I want to see what happens with this whole gaming disorder. And maybe, you know, maybe because it's a disorder, you can actually classify it as you have a disability now because you have a, you know, mental disorder, and you can get off of work and be on medical leave and sit there and play video games. That'll be cool. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was kind of fun to you know, think about what this is, think about how this is going to affect us, and wonder if anybody knows anybody, or if you yourself fall into this category. Be nice to talk about it. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, where you think this is going to go. Do you think this is all just baloney? And yeah, we can chat about it. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.